So today behind me, we have a 700 plus, around 780, but I won't quote figures, 727R supercharged 5-litre Mustang GT. What a thing this is. I will say thank you so much to Hendy Performance for inviting me down to drive this car today. So 700 plus brake horsepower, wet roads, and this has 0 body modifications. It's been lowered on coilovers, but other than that, the £18,000 that's been spent on this exact Mustang is on the supercharger itself, the beautiful Roush one that's strapped to the 5-litre, and it's manual as well. What a thing! So yeah, today's going to be a good day. The American car fan in me, muscle car fan in me, appreciates this thing big time, but I'm going to start this video with the sound. The sound of this thing is biblical. It's got Kooks headers up front, but it still has the cats retained in this system, but it has a back box delete. I'm going to start by starting this thing up. You will not believe how loud this thing is in person. It's actually a joke. I don't know if on the camera that really, the sensation of how much that hurts my ears gets through to you guys, but oh my actual god, it's so loud. Now Roush have done a very good job at whapping the old supercharger on top of this V8. So we're ballpark 700 horsepower. Roush claim 780 with this kit. It's the 727R kit, but you can get in the comments about that. It hasn't been dynoed, so I won't quote that it's 780 horsepower. I'm going to say it's over 700 at the moment, but the butt dyno definitely, in my opinion, it feels over 700 easily over 700. That's the thing with these muscle cars though, you can literally put a supercharger on them and gain silly brake horsepower figures. This hasn't even been opened up, this engine at all. It's not forged, nothing like that. One hell of a machine this. The 5-year-old in me really likes this car. Inside the cabin, beautiful place to be. I do like the retro look with Mustangs since 1964. Very cool throwback there. Down to the gear shifter, which is very notchy. Especially when you're going sideways, you can actually smash it in gear a little bit easier. This has the shaker pack on it, which if you're willing to buy one of these, definitely go and get. Better audio, you get heating and cooling seats because of course you need aircon right up your butt. And from the driver's position, you know, the fastback look, this pillar sits very low where the driver is, but it makes you feel like it's a proper Mustang in here. Lovely deep dish steering wheel with the pony logoing on the center, and the seats are so comfortable. Another throwback that I absolutely love is the toggle switches down here for your modes, so you can go from normal into sport to racetrack. You have the steering modes as well, so you can go from normal into comfort and into sporty. The traction off, I don't need that today, it goes sideways anyway. And your hazard switch right next to that stop start button. Give you guys a little start up again, push clutch down. Nice. But enough of me harping on. Let's go, let's see what this 700 plus brake horsepower Mustang is like. Yeah. Says a lot about this car. Now, 700 plus brake horsepower, claimed 780 from Roush with the 727R supercharger 5-litre Mustang GT. I think the standard Mustang is pretty silly. I've had a little go in one, haven't brought one to the channel, so this is actually the first one that I'm going to be bringing, and it's supercharged with a set of coilovers totaling £18,000 worth of modifications on this Mustang. Insane amount of money, but as you can see by my face as I entered the video there, and this, change down, silliness, absolutely silliness this car is. And being an American car fan myself, I must admit I love the idea of this thing. It's mega comfortable inside. The seat is phenomenal. Got the heated seats on today because it's a little bit chilly. But the chilliness of the road is very evident once you actually put your foot down. Literally at any revs, in any gear, this thing will spin. Literally 70 mile an hour, you put it in third, it spins the wheels. It is insanity, this thing. From my butt dyno can appreciate that this is 700 horsepower, at least. Now the sound is from the Cook's headers with a catalytic converter still in the car, but with a back box delete. That means that this thing is so loud, like incredibly loud. Once I started this thing up, I didn't think it was too bad. On idle, it's okay. But once you actually put your foot down and start going, it's ridiculously loud. It's the obnoxious muscle car that I would have. I love that you can grip it down, and it's manual, 6-speed manual, so you could drift this thing, pop clutch, or roll on its second gear, sideways. It's just a bonkers vehicle, this, and from the outside it just looks like a normal Mustang. Yeah, it's got the fruity blue paint job, which is very, very cool, but it's pretty much standard from that. It has the standard brakes, standard wheels, it has the P0 tyres, which are coping not very well at the back at the moment. They are spinning their head off, let's say. But it's pretty crazy for the Roush Supercharger to be on a car that is very mundane. It sort of doesn't fit in because of the colour, but there isn't silly, crazy bodywork or lips, splitters, spoilers, anything on this. It's just sort of an understated muscle car in its own right. Third gear roll on. Traction control came in then. Stupidity at its finest, in my opinion. America do stupidity pretty well. That's why I like the American cars. And yes, this is a British version of an American car. But from where I'm sitting right now, I think this is pretty stupid. That Supercharger has made this car. I love that it crackles as well. Bang pop on the way down. The gearing as well is phenomenal. The gearbox feels so good. You can throw it. It's incredibly notchy as well, and it blips lovely, this car. It's just rear wheel drive, big, silly, V8 up front, Supercharger, rear wheel drive, manual gearbox, just a proper out and out muscle car, this. And it does a good job of making you boot yourself. Oh, the blip down, you can blip this car so well. I will admit, accelerator is so sensitive. Even in normal mode, it is so sensitive. So it does mean that town driving is a little bit compromised with how sensitive throttle pedal is. But once you're out on the open road, now that Supercharger, you can really feel it kicking proper low down in the rev to bring this V8 right up and singing, even at 2000 RPM in 4th gear. Instant power, which is exactly how you want your muscle car. Now, if you're willing to buy one of these in the UK, there's a couple of things you need to know. This one, on a run on the motorway, was averaging over 30 mpg when this car was picked up from the guys at Hendy Performance. But on this shoot today, we're running around 23 to 24 mpg, which still, in my opinion, is fantastic numbers for a 700 plus brake horsepower 5-litre supercharged engine. If you are going to buy one of these, please go for the shaker pack. This means you get better audio, you get heating and cooling seats. I would definitely go for that as an option as well. Because these are readily available now, these options can be opted into your pricing with no more charges. You would get one of these with those things already on for the same price as you would without them on. Number 2, I'd probably try and get one that's got modified bits on it. If you're going for the supercharged one, if you want to find a supercharged one, there's a couple about. This one's for sale at Hendy Performance. Don't tempt me, Hendy. But obviously, if you wanted a modified one, try and get one that is already modified, because parts for these are incredibly expensive to buy. You don't get a lot of aftermarket used things in the UK for the Mustangs. So if you are willing to get one of these and you want one with a supercharger on it, or even a set of headers, exhaust, whatever you want to do, definitely try and get one with these parts already on, because they're expensive. Other things to note, it's a proper muscle car, this, in my opinion, because it's so comfortable in here, and as you do put it into fifth, say, it just gurgles along. Now, the whole thing about Mustang snatching and grabbing and putting you off into a ditch, it is there, and I do see it. It does spin incredibly well, especially this one. It spins its wheels, as I've said, at like 70 mile an hour, very, very easily. But with the traction control on, it's incredibly easy to put in a straight line. And when I'm in a straight line, it's still sideways, it's just going forwards. It doesn't really spin out, this thing. I know it's a big thing that a lot of people that don't necessarily like Mustangs, or that have seen many Mustangs, you know, go through people. But this one I'm driving today, you know, when it has stepped out a little bit, it hasn't been too bad. It's kept itself in check. Is it good for the UK roads? I mean, I did see a couple of people saying it was too big for the UK roads and stuff. I like big cars though, so you can't tell me that this is too big for the UK roads. I think it fits in quite well. Also, I like the fact it says ground speed on the speedo. That's cool. That's cool.